Sponsors KFC, it's finger licking good. Gold sponsors Digicel, powered by you, connected by us. Urban Development Corporation, making development happen for you. Sagicor Group Jamaica, wise financial thinking for life. National Road Operating and Construction Company, developing tolled roads for national development. Barita, making money work for you. Our silver sponsor, Anybet, and or bronze sponsors, Hose Assembly and Supply Limited.
Of the FIFA World Cup. Let me just share with you, see us laughing here. We're getting more information on the reprieve by FIFA on Bodogan from the United States. Of course, you know his red card that he picked up in the last US game. It has been rescinded by FIFA, and so he's now free to play against Belgium tomorrow in their round of 16 game. And we're just seeing on the release that it was the intervention of Uncle Donald that led to the reprieve. In fact, he went as far as to say, "Thank you, FIFA, for overturning an injustice." But it's not done because the Royal Belgian Football Federation say they want to protest the decision because of, in fact, Rudy Garcia, the coach of Belgium, actually said, and he said this. He said, "I didn't know that at the FIFA World Cup, July 5, which is today, it was now April Fool's Day, because I can't believe what I'm hearing, because the red card at the World Cup triggers a one-game suspension at the very least, and that suspension, I was going to say, cannot cannot be what's the word I'm looking for? Cannot be rescinded or should not be, but it has been because because of the Don. What's a crazy world, gentlemen? What does football come to, Andrew?
It's a sad day. It's a sad day. Once I remember this commercial back in the 80s where Ting had a commercial and they said it was Santos football team with Jackie Bell and some of his players. And they were saying, this man passed the ball to that man, referee, blow off the whistle, end of this game. Once the game is over,
It's over.
it's over.
Well,
And whatever decisions are made by the referee
Yes.
have to stand.
Well, then, what is that your referee group turning? What is happening?
I don't think the decision was made by the referee. It was obvious that the referee for the game made a decision, and the decision was a red card. Based on FIFA rules, this is unprecedented. It's the first, well, for me, I am seeing something like this, but it is not a good feeling. I don't know if the world is going to accept this. I don't know what FIFA will come out and say, but I am looking forward for a release. There must be something within the rules that would have led them to this decision.
Man,
So let us see. Let us see.
So let me ask you, this could have further ramification, meaning how will now referees feel confident in giving red, not knowing that tomorrow morning the president of that country might call and ask for it to be rescinded?
As I said,
Do you realize what we're playing with?
yes, it is unprecedented, and I don't think it will affect the decision making of referees. They will still do what they have to do based on the laws. So they will just operate within the laws, and hopefully we don't have a repeat of this.
No, but the law says you trigger a 1 month suspension and it cannot be you can't be turned over, and
at
and it did.
least. So before today, that was the expectation. And as I said, I'm still waiting to see something from FIFA that can defend what was done.
Let's wait. When you hear, you tell me. We're building up to Mexico against England in the Azteca Stadium. The game was scheduled to kick off at 7 o'clock, but there's stormy weather in the Mexican capital. Things seem to have come back now, and the players who are out on the field warming up. I saw Julian Quinones, the man who scored the first goal at this FIFA World Cup, warming up along with the rest of his Mexico team. It was a daunting, very, very, very daunting task. I'm sure Angie Price has a starting 11 for both teams. I'll let him give it to you in a short time. But It's a daunting task for Mexico. 89 games played at the Azteca, and Mexico has only lost 2 in there. They've not lost a game there since 2013, 13 years ago. And the English are going back to a stadium that 40 years ago, one man, another Don, Diego Maradona, the famous hand of God goal. So England suffered badly, and to this very day, the English have not gotten over it. Because for them, it was not just football. It was a battle for the Falkland Islands. And so it was personal to the English, and it was personal to the Argentines. And for Maradona to get that one over them, it led to a situation where Maradona was supposed to play in an exhibition game in England, Andrew, I'm sure you remember. And they tried to bar him from coming into England. The game was a Saturday. The World 11 had gone into England without Maradona. And somehow some twisting of the arm took place, and Maradona flew into England on a private jet the Saturday, played the game and got out. He was the most hated man in England, not just because of the hand of God goal, not because of the brilliant second he scored, but because England and Argentina were at war over that piece of island, the Falkland Island. And up to this very day, they are still at war over it. England and Argentina can't be friends. And so they were really, really gutted with that Maradona performance. And they've gone back to the very scene of that crime, if you like. And they're facing a massive, massive, massive undertaking tonight. Is it one you think they can overcome, Andrew?
It's going to be very difficult. 7,350 feet above sea level is difficult to play in the Azteca. The rarefied air makes it hard for breathing, and the English team only got in 48 hours before the game. So it's going to be very difficult for them. But I'm sure they have a lot of their medical team there, which will be doing everything to have them up and running for the game. But it's going to be a very difficult task. And Mexico, in my opinion, must start favorites with their large, supportive crowd playing the 12th man. It's going to be very difficult.
And the Mexicans, of course, are playing their last game in the World Cup in Mexico. This is the last one. When they get out of Mexico today, if they're going to win the World Cup, they're going to have to play the other games outside of Mexico. Fortunate to have gotten 5 games in their home country, and it sets them up very nicely. As I mentioned, every time Mexico hosts the World Cup, well, it's the first time they're co-hosting. They hosted it by themselves in 1970 and again in 1986, and they got to the quarterfinals. They've not gotten to the quarterfinals once they play the World Cup outside. So it'll be very, very interesting to see if they get past England, how they'll survive outside, because they have Norway to play. I'm sure they're happy it's not Brazil they're playing against, and that probably should give them a bit of confidence. In fact, it should also give England a bit of confidence, knowing that it's not Brazil they'll have to face. Well then, you can't help but to think the conditions in Mexico must and will play a role. You run for 20 meters, you referee matches in the Azteca Stadium already. And I'm saying to you, if you run for 20 minutes, you're literally out of breath for just one run down the road. This will play on the England players. It definitely will.
Definitely. It's going to be tough for the English players. They are not used to this type of altitude. And coupled to the fact that the altitude is going to play a factor, they have a very hostile crowd. A very hostile crowd. I think the maximum is 90,000.
90,000.
Yes.
90,000. Imagine 90,000
Green
Mexican
shirts.
fans screaming. And added to that, we have a very oiled Mexican team. They are playing very well. Does the English have a chance? They do. But guess what? The big names will have to turn up today, the likes of the Canes, the Jude Bellinghams,
Bukayos, and
the
so on.
Saka. So if they don't turn up, the Mexicans are going to take it.
So a lot has been made of the altitude in Mexico, and the English are hitting back, and a lot of the English, the tabloids, people like the Daily Mail and so on, they're saying, how can you be afraid of a football team whose best player is a 35-year-old who struggled in the championship? And we're talking about rarefied air. England should just cut through that thrash this Mexico team and get out the same night, get out the same night before they're lynched.
Easier said than done, Wayne. You know, I mean, people have to understand that playing at altitude is a real thing, and you have to experience it to understand. It makes breathing difficult. Sometimes if you're an overlapping fullback that likes to go, you make me 3 runs and then ask for a taxi to carry back to right back because it's so difficult going up and down the field, especially for people who play box-to-box football. So they're going to have to be patient and allow the Mexicans to play, sit back, and whenever the ball is turned over, they counter and see if they can make inroads on the Mexican team.
Yeah. And as Valdin just said, forget the altitude. The stadium itself is an intimidating structure. It's just steel and cement. It's a brilliant structure, but it's simplicity. It's just steel and cement. We're in the Azteca Stadium one Saturday morning when the Jamaicans are getting ready for a 12 o'clock World Cup qualifier the following day. So we're in the stadium when it's empty and the Jamaicans are training. And Andrew just looking at the structure, you think it's going to cave in. It's an intimidating place. The structure literally shake when you're in there. It actually, the structure actually shake people. Believe me, you're in there, and it's almost like it's shaking from one side. It's an intimidating place.
It is.
Yes. All right, gentlemen, let's just dive into the team news. Andrew, what's the England team news? I hear Reece James had a problem. Is he starting?
No, he's not starting. Actually, Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa gets in. Okay.
Yes. So Pickford in goal. Nico Riley at left back. Gay and Nagoyu, Kwanzaa at right back, and Rice and Elliot Anderson will play the pivot holding roles, and Gordon and Saka out wide, and Bellingham withdrawn to captain Harry Kane.
And what about the Mexico lineup?
The Mexico lineup is their strongest lineup. Rangel in goal, Sanchez, Montes, and Vasquez, and Gallardo. Eric Lira playing that number 6 role, holding role, and you have the young celebrity now, Gilberto Mora and Romo at the top of midfield, and wide you have Quinones, Alvarado, and the number 9 is Jimenez.
Okay, so you got the England side, and I'm going to ask the consul from Aston Villa to send you a check every time you mispronounce his name. you have to send him a check. All right, so that's the England lineup, that's the Mexico lineup. Now, how do England approach this one? How do they approach it?
Well, I believe that they'll have to play patient. They'll have to play patient because typically how the Mexicans have started, they have started like a house on fire where they come out and they try and press you very high up the field, try to get turnovers to see if they can get that early goal. So what England has to do is weather the very early storm, keep possession, and allow the Mexicans to play in front of them in an organized and structured way where they are disciplined in defense, and whenever the ball is turned over and they win it, then they transition into attack and see if they can make some forays into their defensive unit.
How do you be patient though, Valdin, with a team that's constantly coming at you?
What should I say? They have to be disciplined. It is going to come down to discipline. I think they have to be positive, yes, but at the same time be patient. Don't waste too much of their energy because, as we did say, the altitude is going to play a factor. So they have to remain disciplined. They have to remain patient, but positive at the same time.
Yeah. The fact that it rained today, it brings a different dynamic. Yeah. Because already the ball is going to swing through the air because of the thin air. It's going to swing. It's going to move. It's going to move faster than England has ever seen a ball go through the air or on the field. The slippery condition, because we just saw Quinones a while ago, and it did look slippery on the field. Yes, you'd say the play in England and slippery condition, but playing in Mexico in this condition on a slippery field on a late night, a late Sunday night, brings its own challenges as well.
Yes, it does, but I believe that the England players are well suited to match up for these type of conditions. It's very cool. It's about 64 in Mexico City, and like you said, it rained earlier today, so the field will be very slick. Most of the players will ensure that they have the proper footwear so that they don't slide around and they have good traction. And it's about getting the body behind the ball very early so that the ball doesn't slip off your feet too much. So it's about playing assured and being circumspect, not taking risky chances. So I believe that both teams have to play on the same surface. So they'll just have to go out there and do the best that they can.
All right, so England has not been smooth since the start of the World Cup. Well, they got off to a nice start beating Croatia. But then, you know, they drew with Ghana. They battled closely to beat Panama. And they suffered an almighty scare against the Ivory Coast. So they've not been very smooth for one of the teams that people believe could win the World Cup. It's not a team that consistently improve on the performance day after day. What kind of a mindset will this put the players in coming tonight against a team with a contrasting record, a team that has sailed through all 4 of their games without conceding a goal?
Well, they must be saying to themselves, we're good enough to be here, and once we're good enough to be here, all we have to do is get through this match and we're into the quarterfinals. And you have to take the games as they come. Do just enough to ensure that you win the game and you move on to the next round. And I believe that they have the quality to think that they can do it.
Valden, which of these 2 teams are more battle-tested coming into tonight's game at this World Cup?
Definitely for me it would be England in terms of what they would have been through. The Mexicans, as you said, went through their group quite easily. Didn't have much to go against. So England might have been tested a little bit more. And the quality players that they have that are playing in the top leagues in the world, they have the quality to do it. But again, for me, the high altitude and this aggressive,
You can't get your mind
can't get my mind off that.
Reece James, it's a big loss for England.
Yes, I don't think he has fully recovered, and I believe that the coach doesn't want to take any risk and put him out there in the event that he progresses and needs him in those very important quarterfinals or possibly even semi-final games. So he's not going to risk him out there, and that right back position has always been a problem
for England,
for
yes.
England throughout the entire World Cup. So hopefully the person who sits in today,
That's Konza, I think it is.
yes, Konza, will actually do a good role. But the good thing with his selection, he's not an overlapping fullback, so he'll stay home, and keep the team solid around the back there.
All right, we're building up to Mexico against England. Again, that was scheduled to kick off at 7 o'clock, delayed by an hour because of stormy weather in Mexico City. I can just imagine all the households in and around Mexico, a massive country. In the capital alone, I think it's the most populous capital. 20 million people live in the capital alone. So it's an almighty ask. And Andrew and Valden kept mentioning the 90,000 who are going to be in the stadium. It's going to feel like the entire Mexico is in that stadium. That's how the Mexicans are passionate and love their football. We're going to go for a break. We've got 12 minutes to kick off. We're going to go for a break. And when we come back, we'll continue to set up this massive game tonight in Mexico City between England and Mexico.
Nice, thanks out, please. Burger King, new cheesy fries, cheese and peas. I want something really nice, thanks out, please. BK, new cheesy fries, cheese and peas. Cheese and peas, man, I like. I got my set when me taste the new cheesy fries. Just 5 bills with creamy cheese sauce. I load it up your way, you are the boss. Everybody sing this part. I want something really nice, thanks
vibes, the laughs, and the real talk? Then you're one of us. Don't just listen, belong. Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club on Patreon.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM's FIFA World Cup 2026 coverage. This broadcast is proudly brought to you by our FIFA World Cup sponsors, KFC, it's finger licking good, Digicel, powered by you, connected by us, Urban Development Corporation, making development happen for you, Sagicor Group Jamaica, Wise Financial Thinking for Life, National Road Operating and Construction Company, developing tolled roads for national development, Barita, making money work for you, Anybet, your best bet, Hose Assembly and Supply Limited, equipping Jamaica for success. Burger King, have it your way. Nationwide 90 FM's World Cup coverage, bringing you every match, every goal, and every moment wherever you are.
I tell you what, England must, it's an imperative, England must keep off the Mexican off them for the first 20 minutes. If they don't do that, they're going to be in trouble tonight because the Mexicans are going to come at them. Yeah? Gilberto Mora is a prodigy. He's a class player. Saw him in the last game when he got a start. And tonight he's going to be empowered by that crowd. What that crowd comes to the Azteca Stadium to see tonight is not just a Mexico win. They want to see Mora score. He dominated the Under-20 World Cup the last time out, and they believe that they've got a star on their hands since Manuel Negrete in 1986, the star of that Mexico team. They've not really had a bona fide. They've had good players. Rafa Marquez, they've got Pavel Pardo. They've got so many good players, but they've never really had a bona fide out-and-out global star since Manuel Negrete. And they believe that in Gilberto Mora, they've got one. He's just 17 years old, and tonight he's up against possibly his sternest test. So the players are out on the field, and like we've done with all the games that we carry live here on Nationwide 90 FM, we're going to take you over to Mexico City so you can catch all the pre-games ritual, the singing of the national anthem, the meeting and greeting of the teams, and eventually the first whistle to signal the start of this, what's expected to be a thrilling round of 16 encounter. Mexico are playing their last game at home in the World Cup. They've won 4 on the bounce without conceding. Will they continue their journey tonight, or will the British Army continue theirs or put paid to the El Chicador? All right, let's head out to Mexico City to hear what they have to say and to get ready for the start of this game. See you at halftime. Mexico conceding for the first time this World Cup. And not just conceding, they've conceded twice to the same man, Jude Bellingham, who plays his club football at Real Madrid. At 23, one of the veterans in the England team. He's played 50 internationals, and he's got 2 goals tonight for England. And what an exciting game. Gentlemen, the game is living up to its billing.
Out. It's a spectator's dream. End-to-end stuff. Both teams going at each other. The momentum swinging from side to side. And if a team makes an error, then the other team capitalizes and goes the other way. It's been possibly the most exciting game so far in the entire World Cup for me.
Yeah, good game so far, Valdin?
Yes, definitely one of the most exciting games so far. Both teams are playing well. We did speak of the altitude, but it doesn't seem
to be bothering the
it's
English.
having the effect
Yes.
that we expected.
Yes.
England came out, they were positive as I was expecting. They got 2 goals. The big names turned up. 2 goals from
Bellingham.
Jude Bellingham, yeah.
Bellingham. Saka was assisted,
provider on
and,
them,
and,
yes.
and Harry Kane also assisted. So the big names did turn up. Mexico didn't give up. They stuck to it. They were positive. They got one back and were quite unfortunate not to
have been even in the lead. I mean,
Exactly.
Raul Jimenez is inspired from tonight, but Pickford, the England goalkeeper.
Yes, it's an exciting game, end-to-end stuff. Both teams are just going at it, and no quarters are being given, And what I like is that each team wants to win back the ball as soon as they lose it,
yes.
So, it makes for good entertainment.
Yeah. Honestly, this game could have been anything right now. It could have been anything. Mexico could have been leading. It's England who are leading, and I suppose they're good value for their lead because Pickford, my goodness, he's been inspired form tonight. He's really kept out Raul Jimenez on at least 3 occasions. And yeah, it's been an exciting. This is the kind of game we expected when we saw the matchup coming out of the round of 32. Nobody could wait for this game to start. In fact, it was delayed for an hour, so they kept us waiting a little bit longer. Andrew Price said to me in the break that he believes everybody in England, it's about 2 o'clock in England now, let me see, yeah, around about that time. He says everybody in England still up and watching, and I agree with him. The pubs are still supposed to be filled, but they have work tomorrow. Nobody's turning up for work tomorrow, especially if England win.
Exactly,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so it's a 2-1 in favor of England over there at the Azteca Stadium in the heart of me. What a spectacle! Just looking at the stadium. My goodness, there's nothing like a football match in the Azteca Stadium. It just seems as if the entire world is there watching the game. The expanse of the stadium, the sort of construct, and the shots from the cameras make it look so brilliant. We're looking at possibly the best game so far at the World Cup. Well, it's only 45 minutes, and for us to be saying that at this stage, it tells you exactly what sort of a spectacle we have in front of us. Which, you say no quarters given, no quarters asked for, no quarters given. But which part of the English game is impressing you right now?
The patience that they're showing. They only have 35% of the possession. Mexico has 65. So it shows that England, they are patient, waiting for opportunities. Once the opportunities present themselves, they transition very quickly. And Bellingham is playing very well to get into the box to support Kane.
And coming back to defend.
He made a clearance there that
That would have
really
been a certain
saved them.
goal.
Definitely. So, they're playing well. I like how Saka and Gordon is playing on either side for England. And then when you turn around, you have Sanchez and Guardado going down the flanks, getting
crazy.
crosses into Jimenez. So it's a very exciting game. And it's the team that makes the least amount of mistakes in the second half that will win the game.
Yeah. And the good thing about it, Valdane, it's not that Mexico have done anything different from what they've been doing, The fact of the matter is that this is the best team they've come up against. And they come up against a group of guys who are very good at making adjustments. They're adapting very well because they're professionals. They play at the very top level week in, week out. So it's not that Mexico is doing anything differently. It is just that England is doing what they can and know to do to nullify the Mexicans.
England came with a plan. They know that they couldn't be toe-to-toe with the Mexicans. So they sat behind the ball, and what they did They got you on the break and they were clinical. That's it. They were clinical with the 2 opportunities that they got. So that is what is making the difference.
Raul Jimenez, we're looking back at some of the highlights on our monitor here, folks. And that header from Jimenez and that equally brilliant save. Jimenez and Pickford have come up against each other a number of times when Jimenez was playing for Fulham. And he has had the better of Pickford. They've had this thing going, just like Gabriel Magalhaes and of course Erling Haaland. Not in that sort of aggressive way, but they know each other very well. And Jimenez, when he was in top form in England, Pickford was no match for him. And so they're renewing their rivalry here. And at the minute, the goalkeeper is by miles having the better of the exchanges. Both are playing well. Both are playing out of their skin at the moment. And yeah, it's made for an exciting last 45 minutes. The Mexican crowd will not allow the England team to rest. And let me see. Again, no prediction for this one. Tell me he dropped the ball. Okay, so I'll let Aldin and Andrew off the hook. I could still ask them and them get it wrong enough because they're discombobulated right now because both of them picked Brazil, not just to win today but to win the World Cup, and the Brazilians are heading back to Rio tomorrow. All right, so we are on 8:59, almost 9 o'clock. Let's take the break early and come back and get in maybe 1 or 2 more questions before we head back to Mexico City, one of the biggest football cathedrals in the world. Let's go for the break and come back.
Who wants something really nice, thanks and please. Burger King, new cheesy fries, cheese and peas. Who wants something really nice, thanks and please. BK, new cheesy fries, cheese and peas. Cheese and peas, man, I like. I got my set when me taste the new cheesy fries. Just 5 bills with creamy cheese sauce. Or load it up your way, you are the boss. Everybody sing this part. Who wants something really nice, thanks and please. BK, new cheesy fries, cheese and peas. Get the new cheesy fries, limited time only at Burger King.
Wake up, Jamaica.
It's another glorious day on Nationwide this morning. From your 6 a.m. alarm to the news at 6. Coming up in the news at 6 to me telling you what's on my mind.
To more news at 7 a.m. Coming up in the news at 7. And then the biggest issues dissected, interrogated and discussed on the front page. Nationwide this morning fires you up and sets you right for the remainder of the day.
And there's much more until 9 a.m. Want to know which roads to avoid on your morning commute?
Time now for Street Smarts 2 with Little McLean.
Listen to Street Smart.
Want to hear more about things happening at the community level outside the bustling corporate area? Listen to Across Jamaica.
George, it's someone's birthday. Happy birthday, yeah, my friend. And that someone will hear a special greeting every morning via the Birthday Club.
Nationwide this morning on the revolution in media.
It's coffee, tea, and everything else
for those who want an energetic,
rip-roaring start to their day.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM's FIFA World Cup 2026 coverage. This broadcast is proudly brought to you by our FIFA World Cup sponsors. KFC, it's finger licking good. Digicel, powered by you, connected by us. Urban Development Corporation, making development happen for you. Sagicor Group Jamaica, wise financial thinking for life. National Road Operating and Construction Company, developing tolled roads for national development. Barita, making money work for you. Anybet, your best bet. Hose Assembly and Supply Limited, equipping Jamaica for success. Burger King, have it your way. Nationwide 90 FM's World Cup coverage, bringing you every match, every goal, and every moment wherever you are.
So, welcome back to our continuous coverage of the World Cup football finals tonight. We're pinging into Mexico City, I suppose the most populous capital in the world. Yeah. And the Mexican players on the field look like 20 million. They move so fast and so agile, and they're quick. And you've got to be very, very switched on when you're playing against Mexico, especially in the Azteca Stadium. So it's 2-1. It's first blood to England in the first half. The question, and we've been discussing it off air during the break, and I think it's a good question from Andrew Price. Can England keep this up in the second half? Could you answer your own question, sir?
It's going to be very difficult. I think that that's when the altitude would really kick in the second half, because the game has been played at a very blistering pace. But the pace is more something that the Mexicans are used to doing than the English. So the English, will find some wear or tear. I believe to counteract that, Tuchel will have to make some proper substitutions and timely at the right moments to refresh the team enough to cope with this Mexican onslaught. They are behind 2-1, so they're going to come at England.
Yeah. Well, then you agree?
I do agree. England, they are going to have to be very deliberate in how they manage the second half. Again, discipline is going to be important. They are ahead, so they don't have to press that much. So it's going to be up to them now to manage the game as best as possible. Could we say for the second half in quarters?
Yes,
Then
definitely.
they'll have to do that. It's going to come down to the substitutions also. So the coach has a very big role to play in it. But management is the name of the game.
The Mexicans didn't want the water break. They refused it. They don't.
They want to get back in the game.
As soon as the ball came across and the referee have to do like this, they don't want it. It's not necessary for them. But you're right, guys. The second half is going to be more brutal. And the longer it goes with England leading, the more the Mexicans are going to come. They're going to need it. England is going to have to suffer in the second half. The crucial point you made is not just a substitution, it's when they make them. It's got to be very timely, because
Very
if
timely.
they have to make
Once
sure.
you start seeing players wilting or getting fatigued, that's when you have to start making those substitutions.
Yeah. And apparently the whole damn saying where you get in 2 weeks or 3 weeks before, or you get in the night before, play the game and get out, apparently it's still in effect, because one of the commentators was saying that English were hoping that they would get in early, but they have to work with the FIFA and the World Cup
Schedule, yeah.
schedule. It's not that they can get in there.
Correct.
And so when they got in, immediately they went down to the Pumas, the football club Pumas, and trained at their field. So they really want to be acclimatized, but it's not on their own schedule. They just have to get in, do what they have to do, and get out.
And make do with what you have.
Make do with what they have, and what they had was 48 hours. And so far, so good, they've held up. But then the later it gets in the night, if you notice the ball is zipping through the air because of the rarefied air, the ball is going to move fast. And this is one of the things that I'm so impressed with the English. It doesn't seem as if the flight of the ball is affecting them, because when you play in this stadium, because of the thinness of the air, the ball flies through it. If you play it on the ground, it zip. If you play it through the air, it comes to you very fast. The English don't seem as if they're affected by the movement of it.
Well, these guys are professional in a way, and so they have to make the adjustment, and they're doing well. And I think people like Jude Bellingham, he came to the party today, and he's definitely showing, look, I'll raise my hand and stand up and show you guys we can do it. And everybody's following his lead right now.
Yeah. Just got an overhead shot of, well, you don't have to wait on the overhead shot. It looks foggy inside the Azteca Stadium. And the English are going to have to deal with it. They've got to suffer, if you like. They've got to suffer in the stadium tonight. All right, the players are back out on the field. The fans are ready. We're ready. So let's go back to Azteca, and we'll see you at the end of the game. of a classic, the best game I've seen at the World Cup so far this season. And it ended in defeat from Mexico, their third defeat ever at this stadium. And it's the first time they're beaten in Mexico at the Azteca since 2013. And it's the first time they're losing. Well, they lost their last game in 2018 at a different stadium, but in this stadium is the first they're losing since 2013, 13 years. And it was a classic, Andrew. It was a classic.
Without a doubt. I mean, any game where you can get 5 goals, 2 penalty kicks, and a red card must be a classic. England came, they saw, and they conquered. They were against the odds, against a plucky Mexican team, having not conceded a goal for the entire World Cup up to this point. They conceded 3 today, and they were deserving victors, in my opinion.
Yeah. And what a place for England to win. 40 years ago, they were banished by the hand of God. And then equally brilliant, possibly the best goal ever scored in the same game by one person. And England always wanted to go back to this very stadium it's not exorcise the ghost of 1986 because it's Argentina and Maradona they wanted, but they'll take Mexico any day.
Yes, they would have done well to erase some of the memories that took place years ago. But I must say the game was worth every minute. For those who paid to go in the stadium, it was worth it. And for those who watched it like we did, it was worth every second. As Andrew said, it had everything. It had everything. But the main thing was entertainment. Football lovers were entertained today. Yes. And we did say it. The team that managed the second half better would come out victorious. England did just that.
I tell you what, Thomas Tuchel is a thinking coach. Brilliant coach.
Without a doubt.
When he brought in Dan and he brought in Jeb, he decided to say, listen, Mexico, you can't go aerial. Break us down on the floor. And they kept going aerial. I just could not understand it.
Well, you see, for Mexico, their opportunities was that because England had 5 in the back, they wanted to pull them apart by going wide. But with those 3 Oaks in the back, there was no way they were going to win any of those headers. And they really played out the game well.
Which I was surprised that the Mexicans, I kept saying to myself in the department, I said, listen, don't go aerial, you're not going to win any of those. Not with Dan there, not with Konza there, not with Jeb there. You're not going to. And they didn't win one of them. Mexico should have played through England, tried to play through England. But yeah, at the end of the day, that's how it ended. All right, we've come to the end of another day's coverage. 92 games have been played at the World Cup. What's the schedule for tomorrow? I've left my phone. I know Spain is playing tomorrow. They're playing Portugal tomorrow, is it? Yeah. Well, let's just get the official schedule. So we've got 2 more games.
Spain.
So it's Portugal, Spain, and that
USA,
time.
Belgium.
Portugal, Spain is what time?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock? All right, so we're back here at 1:30. If it's a 2 o'clock game, yeah? We have the time there. 2 o'clock, Andrew?
Yeah.
Right, so we're back here at 1:30 tomorrow afternoon to build up to. Oh, what a game! Cristiano.
And then the other big controversial game at 7, the USA Belgium.
Oh my goodness, man! There you go. So we've got 2 massive games tomorrow. 92 games out of 104. We're winding down, so we've got 12 to go. Let's see how tomorrow goes. We have 2 more tomorrow, and let's see how that's it. It's Portugal against Spain tomorrow, and that kicks off at 2. We go on air at 1:30 to build up to that one. Calvert and Owen are going to be here for that one, and Valdane and Andrew get a chance to just sit back and quietly have a drink and watch the game in peace without Wayne having to be questioning and harassing them for the day. Gentlemen, it was a pleasure having you guys again. It was really a pleasure. Yes, and yeah, it was really Super Sunday. Somebody asked, what's happening in Trenchtown? Nobody's on the street in Trenchtown. Where's the party? Where's the party? And you know that place so well.
Jamaica is quiet.
And you know ever sing one of those revelers when they come out. All right, folks, we're going to leave you for tonight. We're back with you tomorrow at 1:30 in the afternoon to build up to Portugal against Spain. And then later in the evening, another crazy one. It's going to be USA against Belgium. All right, so have a good night, and please get some rest and get back to watching football tomorrow because we're going to be here for you. Have a good night.
Nationwide 90 FM has just presented action from the 2026 FIFA World Cup Finals.
Brought to you by our platinum sponsors, KFC. It's finger licking good. Gold sponsors Digicel. Powered by you, connected by us. Urban Development Corporation, making development happen for you. Sagicor Group Jamaica. Wise financial thinking for life. National Road Operating and Construction Company, developing tolled roads for national development. Barita, making money work for you. Our silver sponsor, Anybet, and our bronze sponsors, Hose Assembly and Supply Limited, equipping Jamaica for success.
Rain Buchanan, and welcome to the Nationwide Daily FIFA World Cup Highlight Show, brought to you by Ray and Navy White Overproof Rum, the spirit of football, and Anybet. Pick your team, pick your play. Five-time FIFA World Cup champions Brazil were given marching orders by the Terminator Erling Haaland and Norway early on Sunday, losing by a 2-1 margin. With the victory, Norway not only punched their ticket to the quarterfinals, but also extended their record against Brazil to 5 games unbeaten. Haaland's brace now put him level with Lionel Messi and Kylian Mbappe on 7 goals at the ongoing tournament. Here's how Norway went about business.
To meet their nation's natural demand, Norway to smash their glass ceiling and play it in here for Sørloth. A deflating